Have you ever caught yourself checking your phone every 5 minutes? Just waiting for one person to reply? Because if you have, you already know how frustrating that feeling is. Here's the thing nobody talks about. Slow replies don't just feel annoying. For a lot of people, they trigger a very real, very physical anxiety response. Racing thoughts, a tight chest, the urge to send a follow-up message you'll probably regret. And it's not because you're too sensitive or too attached. It's because of the way your brain is literally wired to process social uncertainty. And once you understand that, everything starts to make a lot more sense. Before we get into it, drop a comment right now and tell me, what's your go-to move when someone isn't replying? Do you play it cool, or does your brain go into full detective mode? Look, if you've ever felt your heart do a little jump just because someone took longer than usual to reply, you're not alone, and you're definitely not crazy. The truth is, most of us have been there, staring at the screen, replaying the conversation, trying to figure out what went wrong. And that's exactly what this video is here to help you with. You might be surprised how many people are going through the exact same thing. Here's what's actually happening when that anxiety hits. Your brain isn't overreacting. It's doing its job. Humans are wired for social connection at a survival level. Back when we lived in tribes, being rejected or ignored by the group wasn't just uncomfortable, it was dangerous. And even though we're no longer hunting for food or sleeping in caves, your brain still runs on that same ancient operating system. So when someone goes quiet, your nervous system doesn't think, oh, they're probably busy. It thinks, something is off. That triggers what psychologists call the threat detection system. The same mechanism that kicks in when you hear a loud noise at night or feel like someone's watching you. Your body responds to a delayed text the same way it responds to an actual threat. Heart rate goes up, focus narrows, and your brain locks onto one single mission. Figure out what's wrong, right now. And this is where it gets really interesting, because once that threat response is activated, two very specific psychological patterns take over. The first is called intolerance of uncertainty. Basically, your brain hates not knowing. It hates open loops. So instead of sitting with the discomfort of, I don't know why they haven't replied, it fills in the blank, and almost always with something negative. The second is social rejection sensitivity, which means that if you've ever been ignored, ghosted, or left on read in the past, your brain has learned to scan for those signs constantly. It becomes hypervigilant. So now, even a 2-hour delay from someone who's probably just stuck in a meeting feels like a 5-alarm fire. And here's the part that should really make you think. What if the way your brain fills in that silence is telling you way more about your past than it is about the other person's intentions? Okay, so here's where things get a little uncomfortable, in a good way. Because what I'm about to tell you might actually contradict everything your brain has been telling you every time someone takes too long to reply. Ready? Most of the time, a slow reply has absolutely nothing to do with you. Not your message, not your tone, not that one thing you said that you've been replaying on loop. Nothing. And I know that sounds simple, but sit with it for a second. Because if you really believe that, how differently would you feel the next time your phone stays silent for a few hours? Here's the reality. People are overwhelmed, like genuinely, constantly overwhelmed. Someone might see your message, think I'll reply to this properly later, and then get pulled into a meeting, a crisis, a conversation, a moment of exhaustion where their brain just doesn't have the bandwidth to respond. It's not emotional. It's not personal. It's just life. But your brain? Your brain doesn't care about any of that. It sees the silence and immediately starts writing a story. Psychologists call this narrative filling. It's a cognitive bias where your mind rushes to create meaning out of incomplete information. And the story it writes is almost never neutral. It's dramatic. It's personal. It's they're pulling away, or I said something wrong, or they don't care anymore. When in reality, the most likely explanation is that they're just busy or tired, or their phone is on the other side of the room and they haven't noticed yet. And this is the part that should genuinely shift something for you. Because once you understand that your brain is literally making things up to fill the silence, you stop taking those stories so seriously. You start to notice the pattern. Anxiety spikes, story begins, spiral follows. And the moment you can see that pattern happening in real time, you have a choice. You don't have to follow the story all the way to the worst-case ending. Because here's what nobody tells you. The meaning you assign to a slow reply reveals far more about what's going on inside you than it does about what's going on with them. And that's actually the most powerful thing you could walk away with today. But we're just getting started. All right, now we're getting into territory that not a lot of people talk about openly, because it's a little uncomfortable to admit. But the truth is, some people don't reply slowly because they're busy. They do it on purpose. And understanding why they do it might completely change how you interpret those silences going forward. Because once you see the mechanics behind it, it stops feeling personal and starts feeling like a pattern you can recognize and respond to with a clear head instead of a racing heart. The first reason someone might deliberately slow down their replies is what psychologists call social power dynamics. There's a widely held belief, whether people are aware of it or not, that the person who responds faster is the one who cares more. And caring more, in certain social contexts, is seen as a form of vulnerability. So some people slow down their replies, not because they're uninterested, but because they're protecting themselves. They don't want to seem too available, too eager, too easy to read. It's a defense mechanism dressed up as casualness. And then there are those who do it as a subtle way of testing you, to see if you'll chase, if you'll panic, if you'll send that follow-up message that reveals just how much you care. It's not always malicious, but it is a form of control. And if you've ever felt that pull to double text just to break the silence, you've already felt the effect of it working. The second reason ties directly into attachment styles, specifically the avoidant attachment pattern. People with avoidant tendencies tend to feel overwhelmed by emotional closeness. Responding quickly feels like too much connection, too much expectation, too much pressure. So they create distance, and slow replies are one of the easiest, most deniable ways to do that. It's not that they don't like you. It's that closeness makes them uncomfortable, and space is how they regulate that discomfort. Now here's what makes this really fascinating. When an avoidant slow replier meets someone with high rejection sensitivity, someone whose brain is already scanning for signs of abandonment, the dynamic becomes almost predictable. One pulls back, the other spirals, and neither of them fully understands why. Which makes you wonder, how much of what you're feeling right now is actually about the message you sent? And how much of it is about the person on the other end and the invisible patterns they're playing out without even realizing it? So by now you understand why your brain panics, why the silence means less than you think, and why some people create that silence on purpose. But here's the part that actually keeps you up at night. Because it's not just the waiting that's the problem. It's what happens inside your head while you wait. It's the loop. And once that loop starts, it's incredibly hard to break out of, unless you understand exactly how it works. It starts the moment you notice they haven't replied. You check your phone, nothing. You put it down. 30 seconds later, you pick it up again, still nothing. And now your brain is doing something very specific. It's releasing small hits of dopamine every single time you check, because your nervous system is treating that potential reply like a reward that might show up any second. This is the same mechanism behind slot machines, social media scrolling, and yes, waiting for a text. Psychologists call it a dopamine anticipation loop, and it's genuinely addictive. The not knowing keeps you hooked in a way that an immediate reply never could. But it doesn't stop there, because while you're checking your phone on repeat, your mind is also doing something else. It's replaying the conversation, analyzing every word you sent, wondering if that one sentence came off wrong, if your tone was too much, if you should have waited longer before sending it. And the longer the silence stretches, the more convinced you become that something is wrong, even though nothing has actually changed. That feeling has a name, the Zeigarnik effect. It's a psychological phenomenon that describes how unfinished, unresolved things occupy your mind far more than things that are complete. Your brain literally cannot let go of an open loop. It keeps pulling you back, keeps making you think about it, keeps the anxiety alive, because closure hasn't arrived yet. And here's what makes this loop so exhausting. The more you feed it, the stronger it gets. Every time you check your phone, every time you reread the conversation, every time you let your brain run another worst-case scenario, you're reinforcing the pattern. You're teaching your nervous system that this is how you handle uncertainty. And over time, it takes less and less to trigger it. A slightly delayed reply from a coworker, a friend who opened your story but didn't text back, a scene with no response. Your threshold gets lower, your anxiety gets faster, and suddenly, you're spending a significant chunk of your mental energy on something that, most of the time, resolves itself within a few hours anyway. Which means the real question isn't, why aren't they replying? The real question is, how much of your peace are you willing to hand over to someone else's notification settings? So here's where we land. Your brain isn't broken. It isn't weak. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do, protect you from social uncertainty. But the problem is, it's using ancient survival wiring to respond to modern situations that aren't actually dangerous. A slow reply is not a threat. It's not proof that something is wrong. It's not a verdict on your worth, your likability, or the state of your relationships. It's just a slow reply. And the sooner you can catch yourself in that loop, the checking, the replaying, the storytelling, the sooner you take your peace back. Not because you stop caring, but because you stop letting an unanswered message have more power over your mood than it deserves. Now I want to hear from you, because this stuff only gets better when we talk about it openly. So drop a comment and tell me, which part of this video hit the hardest? Was it finding out your brain is literally running a dopamine loop every time you check your phone? Was it the part about people who slow reply on purpose? Or maybe the Zeigarnik effect, that idea that unresolved things just won't let your brain rest? Whatever it was, tell me below. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, someone who's been spiraling over a slow reply lately, share this video with them. Seriously, it might be the most useful thing they watch this week. And if you're not subscribed yet, here's your sign. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because every video on this channel is built to help you understand what's actually going on in your head at night, so you can finally stop overthinking and start getting the rest you deserve. The next video might be the one that changes everything. Don't miss it.